Om Ganapataye Namaha. In this video, I'm going to share a very quick and practical technique to access the energy of Ganapati, also known as Ganesha. This is something that came to me spontaneously as I've been working with Ganapati now for several weeks, and as I shared in a previous video, he's been pouring down his blessings on me, so I want to pass this along to you with the hopes that it'll help you as well. So it's a very simple technique. Um, First of all, if you don't know what Ganapati looks like, it's important to understand this before we get into the technique. Basically, he's got an elephant head, big broad ears, small narrow eyes, trunk. He's got a big belly, and these are all symbols that correspond to different principles that he represents. He's also infrared in color. Infrared, you can go on Google and look up what infrared looks like. It's just below the red color. It looks sort of like the setting sun, a reddish orange, very bright reddish orange. So the technique is this. You simply close your eyes, and you can do this at any time. You can even hold on to this while your eyes are open and going about your day, which I do often. You can close your eyes, though, to help the visualization process and familiarize yourself with the technique. So close your eyes and you can say an invocation. You can say Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha, or just visualize Ganapati's form overlaying your own. If you can imagine like an aura, see his form as an infrared color overlaying your body as an energy body. And you're seeing his elephant heads around you, his big belly's there, and this infrared. And if you can't visualize all these, the elephant head and the belly, you can also just visualize an infrared light sort of like surrounding you energetically, kind of like a cocoon, if you will. And what you're doing is you're feeling like you're in an incubator. So it's like incubating you, and as you do this, it's very easy to tap into his energy and feel happy, joyful. You feel healed, and you feel what I feel when I do this is negative energy sort of leaves me, and I feel it's almost like he clears me up. It feels like very much. I chose the word incubator because that's what it feels like. It feels like he puts me in an incubator in his own body, and it sort of diffuses into my own. And in the yogic tradition, your aura is very important. Your aura, whatever happens in your aura, your energy bodies, basically your physical body is the last manifestation. So if there's a problem in your auric body or your energy bodies, it's going to reflect in your physical body as some sort of disease or something else. So this technique will influence your physical body and also your auric body as well. So just visualize the infrared light, or ideally you can visualize his form around you and almost like you're functioning as him, and feel like you're an incubator. And then quickly, a second technique that's very similar to this that I kind of just came to me as well just today when I was on a walk. I've been finding it profound. It's very similar. Instead of the cocoon, or in addition to the cocoon, you feel like you yourself are a coalesced representation of Mahaganapati, or whatever archetype you want to work with, where you're not. It's very hard to put into words. It's something that just it's an intuition that came to me, and something that's very easy to feel when you focus on it, because there's a saying, you become as you think. So by focusing on yourself as the archetype and visualizing yourself as the archetype, you gain access to that power, that intelligence, because archetypes are simply blueprints of consciousness that are personified in these different symbolic forms. They are also real beings represented externally, and internally they can be accessed or brought out from the unconscious through focusing on their symbols, the color, elephant head, all these things. But yeah, so when you're walking about, you just feel yourself like you're an infrared body. You're not really physical. You're a coalesced aspect of this divine being who's always permeating your existence through this cocoon or incubator. It's also a perspective of being in a state of surrender. So you're surrendering your actions, you're surrendering your mind. You keep focusing on this, you're just allowing them to sort of control you. I know this sounds crazy for people who may not be accustomed to this sort of teachings, but this is very, very powerful way for an archetype to reorganize your intelligence and reorganize your life. So in quantum physics, they have what's called the observer theory. So now quantum physics is bridging this gap of yogic metaphysics and material sciences. And basically, in the observer theory, the idea is the observer is dictating the reality around them. So what they've been able to determine is reality is essentially a blank slate of infinite potential. Through an ego identity, through their perspective, which they project out, it organizes the reality around them. So they see diseases, or they see a Mercedes Benz, they see wealth, they see poverty, they see problems, they see things. All that information that's stored within that individual identity is experienced externally as their reality. So what you're doing when you're bringing the archetype into your system, and especially when you're able to surrender to them, is they become the observer for you. The more you're able to surrender to them, the more that they are able to organize your reality for you. And I have been finding fantastic results with Ganapati in particular. I have worked with other archetypes in the past, many, many, many different archetypes. I have never experienced results like this from any archetype. It could be the time, it could be many different things. I know Ganapati is said to be very active right now. I know Dr. Ply is empowering this whole process right now. All I can tell you is please, please, please experiment with Ganapati if you're looking for quick results, if you're looking for simplicity. He's been organizing my life beyond my conception, and even when my ego does get involved, he's still always there fixing things for me. He's like a best friend. So give these things a try. To really quickly recap, feel yourself in a cocoon. You can do this in a sitting meditation. It's very powerful if you want to lay down on the bed, or as you're going about throughout your day. It'll be easier to do it when you're going with your eyes open and out throughout the day if you spend some time doing it quietly by yourself. Visualize his form around you like a cocoon, an energy body of infrared. You can visualize the elephant head. He's got his big ears, his trunk's out here, he's got his big belly, and you're just feeling him, and that energy is diffusing into you. The second technique, which is very similar, is you yourself feel like you are something like a coalesced aspect of the archetype. In the Star Wars movie, they have what's called the Force. The Force is everything. In the Vedic tradition, they call that as Brahman. Brahman is the Force. So you yourself are this coalesced aspect of the Force operating in this physical reality. And you can visualize yourself the way I've been seeing it as infrared body. I'm not totally physical. I'm sort of like a holographic projection. That's what's been intuited into my mind. I encourage you to experiment with it because everyone will probably get something different. I just want to introduce the concept to you and let you chew on it and see what comes up. So that's all I have. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them underneath the video. God bless.